so glad you're here. I know, it's awesome. So I mean, I know most of you, but some of you I don't. I'm Laurel Imer. I am your candidate for Congressional District 7. And so I just want to talk to you about a couple of things tonight. And one thing that I want to say out loud is I have received so much pushback for being here tonight, and I just want you all to know that. And I frankly don't care. Did you? Yeah, because I was here?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. It's truly ridiculous. So there's a debate happening tonight up in Evergreen, and I was already committed to your group. And when I make a commitment, I honor my commitment. I had already had to back out on Val once because of circumstances I could not control, and I did not want to do that again. And so I am not at that debate, and I am getting a lot of heat for that. You're fine, sweetie. Okay. You're fine. We're all friends here. And so I'm getting a lot of heat for that. And then I'm secondly getting a lot of heat because I am in the room with you guys in general. And so my question to everybody who's giving me pushback is, as far as I'm aware, and there's 2 in the room right now, most all of the candidates running have met with you guys already, most of them. If not all, but many, many of them have. So I think the reason that I'm receiving the pushback is that unlike other candidates, I put out to the public where I'm going to be. So I put it out to my base. I sent an email and I invited my base to come and join the meeting. And boy, oh boy, did they come after me. So I just want to say that out loud. And so I push back because I just frankly don't care. And so I think that one of the things that I talk about all the time is why I support you guys. And I think that it's important for all the candidates to understand the purpose of being here and supporting your guys' endeavors. We're fighting a radical LGBT agenda from the left. Radical. And I know that none of you in this room support that radical agenda. And the log cabin Republicans across the nation do not support that agenda. And that's why it's important for Republican candidates to align ourselves with your message, which is exactly why Ronna McDaniel aligned herself with this message and created this coalition, even if she named it wrong, right? But that's exactly why she did it, because they understand that if we're going to try to bridge, that's why I should think, I'm going to say that out loud to the camera. The coalition should be called Bridge, Building Relationships in Diverse Groups Every Day. Ronna McDaniel, great. Take that down. That's what it should be called, the Bridge Coalition, because it invites everyone and it unites everyone together under a banner of a big tent, okay? And as Republicans, we claim that we're a big tent, but then you got half of my base pushing back at me because I'm here, and that's just stupid. But anyway, the whole purpose is you guys are fighting against that, and I can't walk into a room with radical LGBT people. They will not even listen to me. They won't open the door to me. They would slam the door in my face. But if I call Val and I call Ken and I call you guys and say, hey, we need to have a meeting with these people, they're going to at least let you in the door. They may not like you. They may not want to hear what you have to say. But you'll at least get a foot in the door to start a conversation that none of the rest of us can start. And that's what these people who are against you are missing. Our own Republicans are missing that. And they just want to judge you, and I'm over it. I'm sick and tired of elite Republicans playing God and judging people. And so I think we need to be more open-minded, and I push back against that, and it's ridiculous. I'm a white, straight woman. I have no qualms about being with you guys, and I think I think that we need to be over it. I think we need to be over it. And I think we need to embrace, you guys have got a lobbying group that is working to stop this radicalized agenda in Washington, D.C., and there is no reason that Republicans should not be supporting that. There's no reason for it. And so your guys' website, outspoken.com, I don't think you talk about it enough. I think you need to promote it more, and I think every Republican and every candidate and everywhere we're going, we should be directing people to outspoken.com, because that information on that website is fabulous. It's fabulous, and it educates the public on the good that the LGBT Republican group, the log cabin Republicans, are doing in the nation, the things that they're fighting for, and I think that we need to highlight that more. So that's my request to you.
Jack Phillips, the baker, made us an outspoken cake.
I know. It's, well, see, and there you go. There's Jack Phillips, who's supposed to be against you, right? But he's not. He supports you just like I do. He just isn't going to sell you your coming out cake, and that's his right. And I support freedom wholly and completely. That's the point. Yes.
Can I just say, so I heard from CCU there's some bad history where they weren't very nice to you guys about the Western Conservative Summit. Do you know that history?
Uh-huh.
So I kind of asked around, and everybody said that I should go here to that. Nope, my students, I told a bunch of my colleagues, you know, they're like, that's good. You know, so I'm encouraged by that. You know?
Yeah, but there's this group that are pushing back, and I don't understand what their hesitation is. They're individuals. They're just individuals. Some of my strongest supporters, to be honest, and they're pushing back, right? And I responded in truth.
Do you think they would push back if they were in a room full of people openly, or are they just?
No, I don't think so. I think it's private. I think it's private, and I think that, you know, I go back to Donald Trump, right? We're not electing a pastor. We were not electing a pastor then. We're not electing a pastor now. And we need to have a different perspective. And I am all about freedom. I'm all about freedom. As long as it's legal freedom, I don't support anything illegal. And to my knowledge, none of you are doing anything illegal, so what does it matter? And I just want to be vocal about the pushback, because I just, frankly...
You don't have to be a citizen to vote in municipal? Does that apply to municipal?
This would be every election in America. This would be every election in America, regardless. That you'd have to be a citizen and require citizenship.
She already does that.
Well, of course she's going to say that. But this would be protection that we would have from the federal level. And then the other thing that they would do is they would remove voting boxes that are in random parking lots, Walmarts, wherever they are, that they would have to be inside of a sealed, secure building. No longer allowed to be accessible outside. They would have to be in a secure location. And then getting rid of mail-in ballots, going to paper ballots, and making Election Day a national holiday. And so that we can move towards some of those things. So there's a lot of stuff in that bill. There's a lot to unpack. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying when I get there that we wouldn't want to fix pieces of it. But I think it's a start to consider what we might look at doing. And then, of course, we need to count on the 31 state legislatures that we have right now that are Colorado, or in the United States that are Republican controlled, to make sound constitutional election law to protect us from a situation that we just came from in 2020, so that never happens again, so that they cannot change voter laws a week before election, extend voter deadlines by 3 weeks, you know, all these things that they did. We have to make, and that's the only way to do that is with Republican controlled legislatures to implement those laws, because that's where the laws come from, is from our legislature, not from anyone else.
Is there anything that limits when a person moves into a state and registers to vote? Can they move in?
We have same-day voter registration in Colorado, and that needs to end. And that's a danger. So, you know, same-day voter registration, how do you even prove that you live here?
Well, doesn't having more election judges that are Republican help with that?
It does help with that.
I was told that when they show up at the polling place and there's no Republican election judge, the Democrat just lets them vote.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, but this new bill that Jenna Griswold is pushing back today, that she announced this morning, is bad, and she's pushing to eliminate election judges and to eliminate some of these positions. That's her position in this new bill. It's dangerous. She's a danger. Danger, right?
I mean, yeah, they realize it's their last shot.
It's their last shot. It's their last shot. And I'm going to say this to Christy Burton Brown. If you're listening, you made a mistake in dissing Tina Peters. She made a mistake. Our biggest ally to fight Jenna Griswold is Tina Peters. No. And you cannot stop her from being on the ballot because she is innocent until proven guilty. And a grand jury can indict anyone for anything they want. Right. It means nothing. It means nothing. And if we want a wall of defense against Jenna Griswold, her name is Tina Peters. Yeah. Okay? So they made a catastrophic mistake there. And I believe we're still going to be successful in that endeavor.
The state party needs to stay out of Franklin.
They need to stay. Well, that's it. They made themselves. They violated pre-primary neutrality by trying to do that, in my opinion, and in most of our candidate opinions. That's how we feel about that. So that's wrong. And so there's a big push to ask her to step down. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but anyway. So that's a little bit about election integrity. And then let's talk about education. Did anyone go to see the movie that was one night only last night? Whose children are they?
Did you go for 4 hours? All 4 hours?
I did. It was about 3 hours, 2.5, and then a back talk afterwards. Yeah, yeah. So my support of that movie is not an endorsement of any candidate or candidate committee. I'm going to say that out loud. Okay? But I support the endeavor of that movie because we must know the truth about what's happening in our education system. And I'm sick and tired of voters who do not have children in the school system who think that this does not affect them. Because if you pay taxes in the United States of America, what is happening with the school system affects you. And it's time that you step up to the plate and pay attention to what's going on. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so we are going to be hosting.
School board, and then I found out that Tay Anderson was my person.
Right, there you go.
Now I vote for.
There you go. Right. So you had a catalyst, right? But I'm going to be hosting a screening of this movie, so that more people can have an opportunity to see it, because I don't think that it was very well promoted, and a lot of people are working. It's difficult. So it's probably going to be in the next 2 to 2.5 weeks. We'll be putting that out probably by tomorrow. We're going to be doing a private screening, so anybody who didn't get to see it will be able to come and have an opportunity to see it. It is, Fred, you saw it with me. It's difficult to watch. I'm not going to lie. It's not pleasant. It is not fun. It kind of ruins your popcorn, okay? It really, really does, because this dives deep into the truth of what's happening in our education system and what they're doing to our children. This is another area that the Log Cabin Republicans help us with. This radicalized educational agenda from the LGBTQ community and Planned Parenthood that are sexualizing our children with this transgender movement in our schools from the time they're in preschool. This is dangerous. And no one that I know that has any kind of a brain thinks that this is okay. And so this is another place that this lobbying group of Log Cabin is helping fight this battle for us, helping to protect the integrity of women and women's sports. I mean, what the heck was Title IX for? We just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Title IX. What for? If we're giving it away to men to play on our sports teams, it's insanity. It's literally insanity, wiping women off the map. It's stupid, and nobody should support that. The next thing is border security. Once again, the radical change in the demographic makeup of the United States of America will be the fundamental change that Barack Obama talked about. Okay, so under the Biden administration, the numbers were just released out today. We've had just under 3 million illegal crossings that we know about in the last 18 months. I mean, just think about that for a second. And that's what we know of. How many more do we not know about? And yet we're locked down in tyranny. We're locked down and locked in our houses. We can't travel freely. We can't go to a movie. We have to produce papers. We have to do all these things, and these illegals flood our country, and they don't have to do any of it. Okay, so there must be a stop to it. Those are my 3 points. I mean, those are the 3 most important things. But again, I just believe if we don't fix the election integrity piece, nothing that any of us do from this day forward matters. And then outside of that, we must save our children. Because when they control our children, they control the world. And they're doing a mighty fine job of that. So I'm Laurel Imer for Congress. I thank you guys for your support. I need your support. If you are a delegate and you are a congressional delegate, I'm asking you to pledge to me. I am the only candidate that produces this kind of structure. I'm the only one saying this stuff out loud. Everyone else is shying away from these points in that congressional race because they're not strong enough to speak the truth. And I frankly don't care, because the truth deserves no explanation. So if you're a delegate, I ask you to pledge your support to me. I need your financial support, because they're coming in with millions of dollars on top of me, even these local Republican candidates that are millionaires, that are self-funding, trying to take me out. We need your financial support. We need your volunteerism. We need your help moving forward. Any questions? Yes, my friend.
Yeah, I was sent that from this congressional district.
That was Matt Dempsey's petition collector, yes.
Yeah, what's his story?
He's petitioning on the ballot. I don't think today's the deadline. I doubt that he made it through petition. I would say it's doubtful he made it. So he now has a decision to make as to whether or not he's going to go through assembly or not. The other candidates all are petitioning on. I'm the only candidate that was dedicated to the assembly from day one, because I only want to get on the ballot by the vote of the Republican Party, who understands the platform and will choose to promote someone who understands the platform to the ballot. That's all that matters. I am sick and tired of these washed out rhinos that are funded by Democrats or God knows where, that are coming in through the petition process, watering down our ballots, and that's why we have the state that we have in Colorado. I'm one of only 2 candidates that signed on, and I'm the first candidate to sign on to the lawsuit to overturn the unconstitutional open primary law in Colorado and go back to a closed primary to protect the integrity of our vote. It's part of the election integrity piece, and it's vital. The other candidates are petitioning. One of them just got released this weekend that his petitions were not validated. And so now he is coming through the back door of Assembly to try to win that nomination because his petitions were rejected. Well, that's what you get when you try to circumvent the voters. That's what I have to say about that. Any other questions? Yes, Fred?
Comment.
Yes.
And by the way, I told him, he was worried that people were offended that he was petitioning. I said, I don't really know if
They are.
offended or not, but I've never seen anybody win. I've never seen anybody get the nomination or come in second place. Nobody's even come in second after petitioning in this district. Bob Beaupre won a primary, but he didn't get elected to governor.
Right.
But he'd been through three assemblies at that point. So
Right.
he had a lot of name recognition. And the other thing I was going to say was about the movie, and I got to be honest, maybe sometimes I'm a little bit naive, but I came out of there thinking, I'm hoping it's not quite this bad all over. This might be somewhat isolated, and I was tempted to think that way, but in the
It's
back of
not
my mind,
isolated.
I knew that if it's not completely this bad yet, it's going there.
Well, that's the direction they're going. My mom couldn't sleep last night. I took my mom, and I had warned her. I'm like, I don't really know if you want to go to this. Like, it's going to ruin your day. Well, she couldn't even sleep. She said she literally had nightmares. And when I told her today that we were going to screen it at the church, she said it's too X-rated to show at a church. That's what my mom said. And I said, well, let me take that and unpack that. If that movie, exposing what they're doing to your kindergartner in public school in the United States of America, is too X-rated to be at a church, then why the hell is it in your classroom?
The church needs to know about it.
The church needs to know. Where are they? They're silent. They're sitting on their hands and they're praying, and it's time to stand up and take action. They've allowed this to happen. 40% of Christians don't vote. They've allowed this to happen to our children. They're desensitizing our children to this radical sex education curriculum, and we're going to have generations of kids that have been assaulted and don't even know it because they think it's normal, and that is wrong. And I will not stand for that. I will die to stop that. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, no, we still have to focus. Our feet are planted here. I have a home in heaven. Amen? But my feet are here right now, and I am not told to just sit down and ignore it. And I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. So, sorry, I got a little radical. I apologize. Forgive me. I'm really passionate about that.
Well, at your school, they should show that movie too.
CCU should absolutely do a screening of it if Jeff Hunt isn't working on that.
Who produced it?
Deborah Flora and her husband, Jonathan Flora, are Senate candidate. That's why I said at the front, this is not an endorsement of any candidate or candidate committee. She just happens to be the one who did it, okay?
It's okay, actually, in one of the debates that I was on with her, they asked the question, so if you were not to win, who would you support here? And nobody answered the question except me. And I said, Deborah.
Right, yeah.
Because I really like Deborah.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I mean, my personally, I think Deborah's in the wrong place. I think she should be running for that at-large school board seat. That's where she should be running. That's where she can make the most impact for change in our state. That's my personal opinion. But anyway, this movie it's well done. It is long. It's lengthy. It's very difficult to watch. I would say don't bring your kids, but they're hearing it every day in class, so what's the hell's the difference? So, but you know, we need to invite our neighbors and our friends. They need to know that their tax dollars are paying for this. And the only way it's going to stop is if we step up to the plate and put a stop to it. So.
Are you going to rent a place to do this?
It'll be at my church.
Okay.
Yep, it'll be at our church. Yeah, yeah, it'll be in Lakewood. Yeah, yeah, and we're all going to go to hell. Yeah, we're going to have an exorcism beforehand and after her, and I don't know, you know. It's a Baptist church. We'll bring in a priest to sterilize or something, whatever they do. I don't know. We'll bring in Father Andre to do his thing. Yeah, sprinkle. Yeah, sprinkle. That's what it is. We'll bring in Father Andre to sprinkle the church ahead and after.
What's the capacity?
Of my church, if standing room only about 120 probably.
Sometimes it would be nice if we could get a screening sometime to show it someplace large, like Continental,
Brave
or,
Church, that's the church
or-
I ever go to, they have a huge.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they'll do one.
I mean, you know, people are, yeah, I mean, yeah, she goes to Brave. I would think they would do it. I mean, you know, anybody can host a screening. You can go onto their website, whose children are they, and you can request to host a screening, you know, if you have a group or whatever. And so I would really recommend CCU do that. But, you know, we're going to do it and invite people, and, you know, hopefully we fill the church.
I would say Colorado Community Church.
Yeah, so there's, you know, there's a lot of places that would do it, but there's also a lot of churches who are not going to speak the truth, right? And that's the whole problem, the whole point. And they don't want to get political from the pulpit because they're afraid of the government. Yeah, there you go. What church is that?
Heritage Christian Center.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there'd be a good place too.
Filling it.
Yeah, you got to fill it though. Doesn't do you any good to have a big church with only 10 people in it because then you look like a fool, right? I'd rather have a smaller church that's overflowing and do it twice or 3 times or 4 times.
I got 4,000 African Americans to vote for a Republican candidate against Jason Crow.
Oh, fantastic. Yep.
Our church endorsed the Republican candidate against Jason Crow. So don't tell me that we have to be a blue state.
We don't. We're not. We're a red state. I'm telling you, we are a red state. I'm on the ground with people every day. We are not a blue state. We are a red state.
Even your Democrat County Treasurer, Jerry DiTullio, today, while I was here at lunch, which if you ever want to find Jerry DiTullio, just
You're
come
being
here.
recorded.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just come here. He's here all the time.
you want me to
He
silence
makes
out?
no secret. He makes no
Mute,
secret of
beep,
being here.
bleep, bleep.
Anyways, but he's always here, and he was here today, and he said, you know, Colorado's not as blue as our party makes it
No,
out.
it's not.
And
It's
I
not.
said, exactly.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
You know,
Yeah.
there's more Republican county clerks and county commissioners and county treasurers in this state than there are in the metro area. You know, so there's a lot more Republicans than there are Democrats, whether anyone likes to.
Helbus, you had a question?
Well, it's a comment. This is, the teachings are being held at the public schools. So that tells me that kids that can afford to go to a private school are not being indoctrinated like the kids that can't afford to go to.
Right. It's discriminatory.
Not all of them, some of them are.
Some of them are. Yeah, I mean, not all of them.
So
So I need
the,
school choice and vouchers.
Yep.
the private schools have more of a say, and I don't know, but I would doubt that they're teaching these things or the same curriculum.
That's true. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Yeah, it's a public, I mean, it's,
So, I'm sorry, so basically what they're doing, they're producing the next generation of people that are gonna continue to vote
Yes.
for them because they're gonna be uneducated,
Yep.
uninformed,
Yep.
and
Indoctrinated.
very confused.
yes. No, you're exactly right. And that's why we have to get them out. And that's why they push against vouchers. They've been pushing against vouchers for what, 15, 20 years? They've been pushing at least against vouchers and school choice. That's why. Because the teachers union has their fingers in everything and they're losing that. We need the money to follow the child. I've been saying that for a long time. The money should follow the child. In Colorado, the average amount that is for a student in Colorado would be $13,000. If you took all 64 counties, took every student, the average amount is $13,000. Now, I homeschooled my son. I can tell you I could do a heck of a lot if they gave me $13,000 a year to educate my son the way I choose. What is that $13,000 paying for at the school? Nothing. Nothing. All they do is beg for more money. Every 2 years, they need to raise the taxes. They need a mill levy. They need something, right? They just need more money, more money, more money. So we need to make sure that we're pushing for school choice and that money to follow the child. And we need to abolish the Department of Education. I've been saying this for 2 years. It needs to go away. It's evil. Evil, evil, evil.
Purpose of the United States Department of
one of the
Education is to
biggest
funnel
problems-
money to the states.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
One
Yep.
of the biggest problems we have, I have an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 15-year-old grandchild, that they cannot read my letters that I write them. I have written
Is it
them
cursive?
letters.
They can't read cursive. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they cannot read cursive.
Yeah.
And who gave them, the school districts, permission? This is in North Carolina. Who gave them permission to stop teaching cursive? Somebody just
Yeah.
quit.
Yeah, they haven't taught
Nobody
cursive.
made responsible.
Yeah, they haven't taught cursive in years in the public schools. You have to go to probably a private or a charter school to get cursive. Most public schools, it's been gone for at least 10 years, if not longer. Yeah, no, they don't have the cursive. You have the A, and the A, and then the B, and the B. Yeah, no, they don't have any of that anymore. But yeah, no, the movie is difficult to watch. I'm really not going to lie. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not going to be a fun. My events are generally fun. This one's going to suck. I'll try to make it fun afterwards or something or before, but it's going to suck, right? It's going to suck. And hopefully what it does is it gets in the hearts and the minds of people and wakes them up to take some kind of action. That's what we're hoping.
You got to sponsor a show. Somebody should do a showing around the assembly weekend, like somewhere else.
I know, that'd be difficult to pull off. We're all so stinking busy, but, you know. Yeah, I'm looking at the weekend of the 26th and 27th is the weekend I'm looking at of March, just to give you a heads up. I haven't decided Saturday or Sunday yet, but that's kind of what I'm looking at, because that's the weekend I'm the freest, which tells me that maybe that's the weekend some of our candidates are also the freest, since we kind of all are following each other, right? That it might be the best window ahead of that assembly to get that done. So, any other questions or concerns? Okay. Thank you, Val, for having me. Thank you all. I do really appreciate your support. You can call me, talk to me anytime.
Well, thank you again.
You're welcome.
Laurel, thank you.
You're welcome.
For
You're welcome.
standing up for us as